Hello, everyone. Welcome to this class.
Hi, Mister.
Hello,
Hi,
Mr.
good afternoon.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Let me share with you my screen. Give me a second. Okay. Well, today we are going to talk about the classification of crimes. When we talk about the classification of crimes, we need to know that some of them are in groups, or and we can call those groups like subjects or matters. For example, a crime like assault, battery, or rape tends to injure another person's body. So it can be classified like a crime against the person, or it is a crime to injure a person by depriving him or her of property, or by damaging property. It can be classified as a crime against property. So these classifications don't affect the criminal law. It's only to have an idea, about the that kind of crimes. So I would like to start first with the glossary. I think if we are a little more familiar with some terms or words, it's going to be easier, the presentation, okay, of this class. Some of them, I think that the words are obvious, for in Spanish. But for example, the assault, I think that is easy to know that is asalto, okay? Or injure, that is lastimar. Damage property. Damage property means es daño a la propiedad. Punishment, that is castigo. Or criminal, is intento criminal. Felony, this is an important term in this class. Felony means delito grave. Or heinous intent means intención atroz. Or grievous injury means lesión grave. Destruction of property, destrucción de propiedad. Probation and rehabilitation, those are easy too. Probación, rehabilitación. Home confinement means confinamiento domiciliario. Consequences, consecuencias, conviction, convicción. Inability to vote is incapacidad para votar. Okay, weapon means arma. The severity of punishments means severidad del castigo. Misdemeanor is another important term in this class that means delito menor. Okay, jails means cárcel. Community service is servicio comunitario. Prisons mean prisión, and offense means ofensa. Okay. With these words, now we have a clear vision of the class. Okay. So pay attention to those terms. Okay, because we are going to talk about them in the class. Well, talking again about the classification of crimes. These are classified in 4 categories: felonies, misdemeanors, felony misdemeanors, and infractions. So when we talk about felonies and misdemeanors, uh, we need to understand, first of all, uh, that it's important, or sometimes it's not easy to know what is the line, to divide uh, both of them. Okay. So, Anna, can you read this paragraph, please?
Yes, Mr. Felonies and misdemeanors. In the United States Federal Criminal Code, crimes are divided into two broad categories: misdemeanors and felonies. The distinction here is one of maximum punishment. Misdemeanors are crimes that carry a maximum of 1 year of jail time, and felonies are crimes with punishments in excess of 12 months of incarceration. So, what are examples of felonies and misdemeanors? Unfortunately, the answer to that is not so cut and dry. A crime can have the same general classification but be broken down into several levels of severity, some of which may raise the seriousness from a misdemeanor to a felony. Let's take a closer look.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, let's take a closer look. For example, if, like I said before, it's not easy. We need to understand the division of them. For example, assault, okay, probably we think on yourself, is felony or is a misdemeanor? Or what about disturbing the peace or indecent exposure? What about theft or intent to kill or traffic violations or drugs? Okay. To understand these categories, okay, we're gonna start first with felonies, okay, and to recognize first this category. Fernando, can you read for us this paragraph?
Yes, Mr. One moment. I'm going to move this so I can read better. Okay. Felonies are the most serious crimes. They are either supported by a heinous intent, like the intent to kill, or accompanied by an extremely serious result, such as loss of life, grievous injury, or destruction of property. Felonies are serious, so they are graded the highest, and all sentencing options are available. Depending on the jurisdiction and the crime, the sentence could be execution, prison time, a fine, or alternative sentencing such as probation, rehabilitation, and home confinement. Potential consequences of a felony conviction also include the inability to vote, own a weapon, or even participate in certain careers. Classification of crimes by the severity of punishment. The most serious crimes, which are graded the highest, yes, sorry, I was right. Crimes that are graded lower than felonies, but higher than infractions. Crimes that can be prosecuted as a felony or a misdemeanor, depending on the circumstances. The least serious crimes, which are graded the lowest, also called violations, crimes that are evil in nature, crimes that are regulatory in nature, incarceration facility, appropriate for felonies and operated by the state or federal government.
Thank you, Fernando. So we know that felonies are the most serious crimes. So, but what about misdemeanors? Michael, can you read for us, please?
Yeah, sure. Misdemeanors are less serious than felonies, either because the intent requirement is of a lower level or because the result is less extreme. Misdemeanors are usually punishable by jail time of 1 year or less per misdemeanor, a fine, or alternative sentencing like probation, rehabilitation, or community service. Note that uh, incarceration for a misdemeanor is in a jail rather than prison. The difference between jail and prison is that cities and countries operate jails and the state or federal government operates prisons, uh, depending on the crime. The restrictive nature of the confinement also differs between jail and prisons. Jail are for defendants who have committed less serious offenses, so they are generally less restrictive than prisons.
Thank you, Michael. So we learn at this point, that difference between um, these and between misdemeanors, okay, that is or felonies is less serious, okay. So let's read about some of crimes, okay, to learn a little bit of more of them, okay. Jimena, can you read for us about assault?
Sure. Assault, a good example of multiple levels of severity, is the general class of crime called assault. In the case of assault, threatening to cause harm to a person, but not carrying into on the threat would be classified as a misdemeanor. This can carry jail time of 6 months to a year. Assault that results in actual bodily injury or in which a weapon was used as part of the assault would be considered a felony. Felony assault comes with anywhere from 1 year to 25 years in prison.
Okay, thank you. So like we say, we can see that we have a multiple levels, even if we talk about assault, okay? It is an assault without a weapon, probably is considered like a misdemeanor crime. But if we use a weapon on the assault, probably can be transferred to felony crime, okay? So, disturbing the peace. Tete, can you read for us, please?
Yes. Disturbing the peace. Disturbing the peace is another common share. This share comes in many forms, including fighting in a public place, bullying others, or mobilizing an unlawful public assembly. Disturbing the peace, also known as a breach of peace, is almost always classified as a misdemeanor. Felony counts are rare but possible, depending on the state and circumstance surrounding the crime. Given the many variation of this crime, jail time can also vary. The maximum penalty, however, is 1 year in jail.
Thank you, Tete. Yeah, so disturbing the peace is basically a misdemeanor, okay, crime. It, like the text say, depending the state, the circumstances, but yeah, it's a misdemeanor crime. Okay, so but pay attention on because not because it's a misdemeanor, you're gonna be safe to be on jail. Okay, so take care. Take care. It's not a good decision to go to the streets and say, "Oh, I'm free. I'm going to say all that I want to say." No, it's not really easy like that. Okay. Okay. Drugs. Nayeli, can you read for us, please?
Sure, just give me 1 second. Yes. Crimes relating to drugs can also be classified as misdemeanors or felonies. Misdemeanors usually pertain to simple drug possession charges. Things advance to felonies when they involve more than simple possession. This can include possession of a large quantity of drugs or an intent to sell. The quantity required to progress from a misdemeanor to a felony varies from state to state. In California, for example, one can face a year in jail for simple possession, as well as notable fines. If, however, you're found with a large quantity or deemed to have an intent to sell, one can face multiple years in a state or federal prison.
Okay. Thank you, Nayeli. Yeah, like can you see the possession of drugs can be considered like a misdemeanor crime, but depends if, if they sell drugs. If the person is selling drugs, that's definitely a felony crime. Okay. So, Pep, Wendy, can you read this one for us, please?
Yes, yes. Death is another great example of crime has different levels of severity. Very healthy and love talking of preparing or money from another person. However, concept the distinction between whether have is a misdemeanor or felony is depend on the value of the cash or property stone. Many states classify them up to 500 as misdemeanor, and they have larger amounts of felony. In the common favor facility high time includes 1 year behind bars and felony is also referred to as a larceny. Grand larceny around them may also be on the table in the health excess value on the 1 million or more. Grand larceny is spelling you maybe have very grand in the auto is referring to starting a car.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Yeah, so theft is basically another crime that have a different levels. Okay, so now, Anna, can you read again, please, in the same exposure?
Yes, mister. Other crimes are distinguished as being misdemeanors or felonies, depending on against whom the crime is committed. Indecent exposure falls into this category. Exposing one's private parts in public in such a way as to alarm others is considered to be a misdemeanor. However, if the exposure is before a child, then the crime rises to the level of a felony. Different states set different age limits as to where the line exists between misdemeanor and felony indecent exposure. In California, whether someone's charged with a misdemeanor or a felony, they will be labeled as a sex offender for the rest of their lives.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. This is something serious because it's not the same to be an indecent exposure between adults. Okay, that probably at that point could be considered like a misdemeanor crime, but it is before a child, it's different. It's different, and then the person could be considered like a sex offender for the rest of his or her life. Okay, then traffic violations. Fernando, please.
Yes, Mr. In most instances, traffic violations are classified as misdemeanors. Examples of misdemeanor traffic violations include speeding, driving without a license, driving without insurance, driving under the influence, DUI. Felony traffic violations include leaving the scene of an accident and vehicular homicide. These violations can come with anywhere from 1 year to life in prison. Another potential felony traffic infraction is repeated DUIs. In this case, many states upgrade repeated charges of DUI from misdemeanor to felony status. While the criminal act being committed is the same, multiple violations can result in a felony charge that carries harsher punishments. Actually, Mr., when I read leaving the scene of an accident and vehicular homicide, I remember an actor 2 years ago or something, he killed a man in the States, but everything was recorded. So that's why he's in jail. I think he's still in jail because he hit this man and this man fell and the actor began to run away. And days later, this man passed away. So that's something very serious. That's homicide. I don't know what level it is, but that's homicide and it's recorded. And that's why this actor was in jail. I think he's still in jail. I haven't followed the case, but I remember that because I saw the TV and I saw the scene. So when I saw that, I said, "Oh my God, that guy has ruined his life."
No, I think he's out.
I don't remember this actor's name, but
yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that even if there is a crime, in seconds, the transfer to a felony is in seconds, like you said, they arrange their lives. Okay?
Yes, because he's a young man. And
Yeah.
he was popular. He was a popular actor, but now he's in jail in the States, in the United States, not in Mexico, but in the United States. So,
yeah, according to this paragraph, came to my mind. I'm not a man. This person though was my friend, but was my companion in the work company that I was working, and he usually was working, with in bad conditions. Usually he was drunk, working. So he got a lot of tickets of DUI because the alcohol. Okay? And I think at the third time, the police put on jail, and then I think a couple weeks later, he was deported. So yeah, well, now according the information that we have, okay, and these pictures, Okay, we have this activity. Okay, we need to identify if it is a felony or it is misdemeanor. For example, indecent exposure. What do you think? Is felony or misdemeanor, Michael? I can't hear
I'll
you.
say I'll say it's a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor, exactly. What about this picture? And according that we read, Anna, traffic violations.
I think it's a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor, yeah. Jimena, what about the next picture in drugs?
I think that drugs are felony.
Yeah. Okay. Gwendolyn, intent to kill. What do you think? Is felony or is misdemeanor?
Oh, can you repeat, please?
Intent to kill, the picture of intent to kill, is felony or is misdemeanor?
Oh, it's a felony?
Excuse me?
Felony?
Felony, felony. Okay. Tete, what about assault? Felony or misdemeanor?
Is felony.
Felony. Okay. Nayeli, disturbing the peace.
I think it is misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. Okay. Fernando, what about that?
I think it's felony.
Okay. Is misdemeanor. Okay.
Okay.
According to the picture. Okay.
Okay.
Because he just taking the cell phone. Okay. So it's misdemeanor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. What about when it is, like I said in a few minutes ago, when the line is between felony or misdemeanors? Well, on these circumstances, okay, basically the misdemeanor, if it is misdemeanor or felony, the decisions belongs to the judge, okay? Because depend the levels of the crime, is the judge gonna take that decision, okay? Or when we talk about infractions, infractions can also be called violations, but it is minor offenses, okay? Like, for example, jaywalking. Do you know what is jaywalking? No? Well, jaywalking is basically to cross the street in a wrong way, okay? When they don't follow the rules, or they cross, like, you know.
I think this teacher Julio said something about it. I think I seem to remember that term, jaywalk. He said something about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I still remember.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, we have this review. Okay, you need to match the information on your left side with the letters or the answers on the right side. Okay, we're gonna give you a couple minutes. Hmm? Or let me know if you are ready with the first one.
Mister, I have the first one. Oh, sorry.
Okay, Anna, it's okay, Anna. And then
The first one, crimes can also be grouped by subject matter, letter D.
exactly. Who was the person that?
Miss, sorry, Mister, I have the second one.
Okay.
I think that is the letter F. The classification of crimes according to the severity of punishment is called letter F rating.
Okay. Exactly. Randy. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jimena. Michael.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Nayeli. Yeah, you have the answer of number 3. It's okay.
Yes, it is. This affects a crime's criminal intent.
Criminal intent. Yeah. Michael, can you read number 4 with the answer?
The most serious crimes are little J felonies.
Exactly. Felonies. Tete, can you read number 5 and give us the answer?
Yes. Misdemeanors are usually punishable by jail time of 1 year or less. Letter E.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wendy, you had the answer for 6?
Yes, the answer is little D. And jails are operated by cities and countries. Little D.
Exactly. Cities and counties. Yeah. Fernando, you had the answer for number 7? For number 7?
Yes, Mr. Number 7, the choice to prosecute a crime as a felony or misdemeanor usually belongs to letter I, the judge.
Exactly, the judge. Well, Anna, you have the answer for number 8?
Yes, mister. I hope you can hear me because someone is passing selling something. Okay, jails are less restrictive than prisons. Letter H.
Exactly. Letter H. Okay. Michael, number 9?
Yeah. Infraction can also be called violations.
Violation. Exactly. Tete, please, number 10.
Yes, number 10 is with letter C. This is an example of an infraction. Jaywalking.
Exactly. Well, okay, guys, basically, this is the class for today. Okay, so I'll see you next class. Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Bye-bye.